All right, let's just jump right into it. Today, we're tackling one of the biggest questions on everyone's mind, from educators to parents to students themselves. What is the real deal with generative AI in our schools? Is it a revolutionary new tool, or is it a genuine threat to learning as we know it?
I mean, you've heard this, right? The second tools like ChatGPT burst onto the scene. A kind of panic set in, and it was all centered around this one question. If a machine can spit out a perfect essay in literally seconds, what is the point of teaching a student to write one?
But here's the thing. If we only focus on cheating, we are completely missing the bigger picture. The real debate isn't about the essay itself. It's about the very skills, the cognitive muscles that our whole education system is designed to build. Are we about to just outsource our ability to think for ourselves?
And let's be totally honest with ourselves. This whole conversation is happening at a time when education is already facing some pretty serious challenges. AI isn't walking into a perfect system. It's landing in one where we're already worried about these core metrics. So the stakes, yeah, they could not be higher.
So let's try to peel back that first layer of panic about cheating. Because to really understand the path forward, we have to look at the much deeper, more fundamental challenge that AI poses to the very structure of how we teach and learn.
The real issue here is something called validity. Think about it. If a teacher assigns an essay to see how well you can write and argue, but you use an AI to do it, well, that essay doesn't measure your skills anymore. The test is invalid. So this isn't just a simple rule-breaking problem. It's a full-blown crisis in how we measure learning.
And at the absolute heart of this validity crisis is a concept called cognitive offloading. It sounds fancy, but we do it all the time. Using a calculator for a math problem, that's cognitive offloading. Using GPS to get somewhere, same thing. We're handing off a mental task to technology. The question is, what happens when that tech can handle almost any mental task we throw at it?
But, and this is a huge but, there's a critical difference in scale here. A calculator offloads one very specific task, calculation. That's it. Generative AI, on the other hand, can offload these incredibly complex, layered processes. We're talking research, synthesis, argumentation, even creative writing. The potential for cognitive offloading is just exponentially bigger.
And this isn't just a theory, Early research is starting to back up this concern. Some studies are finding a pretty clear correlation. As our reliance on these AI tools goes up, our measured critical thinking skills can actually go down. It suggests that the more we offload that cognitive work, the weaker that critical thinking muscle might get.
Okay, so if the problem is that deep, what on earth is the solution? Well, it's not about building better AI detection software or playing cat and mouse with students. It's about fundamentally rethinking our entire approach and building a new framework, one that's based on trust and transparency.
The term academic integrity gets thrown around a lot, and it often becomes the reason for more surveillance and punishment. But as this quote points out, that old framework only gets us so far. It really doesn't help us with the trickiest questions about how we actually teach and learn in a world that's filled with AI.
And this just nails the mindset shift that has to happen. The goal can't be to just catch cheaters. It has to be to guide learners. When we start looking at AI use as a learning opportunity, not a crime, we can finally have productive conversations about ethics, proper use, and real skill development.
So, the cornerstone of this whole new framework is transparency. Simple as that. Instead of some kind of don't ask, don't tell situation, the goal is for everyone, educators and students, to be completely open and honest about when, why, and how these AI tools are being used. So how do we make that practical? Well, a lot of schools are starting to use a really simple but super effective AI disclosure policy. It just asks students to state 3 things. First, which AI tool did you use? Second, what did you use it for in your process? And third, how did you check or refine or build on what the AI gave you? This simple idea promotes accountability and totally flips the script. Now, failing to disclose, that's the new academic integrity violation.
So let's talk about how this framework moves from being this abstract idea into the real-world policies that are actually reshaping schools and universities as we speak.
And institutions are moving fast. I mean, really fast. By the middle of 2023, a look at the world's top 50 universities showed that 60% of them had already put out public guidelines on using generative AI. This is not a fringe issue anymore. It is absolutely central to academic policy now.
But of course, the big question is, can policy keep up? Technology just doesn't stand still. So these policies can't be carved in stone.
They have to be living, breathing frameworks that are constantly being reviewed and updated by everyone involved, teachers, students, admins, just to keep pace with the crazy speed of innovation.
Now, one of the most effective tools we're seeing pop up is the AI assessment scale. This gives teachers a super clear way to define exactly what's allowed for any assignment. It goes from level 0, which means no AI at all the way up to level 5, which might actually encourage students to fully collaborate with an AI as a creative partner. It just replaces all that ambiguity with crystal clarity.
So where does all this lead? Well, when you start combining these ethical principles, transparent policies, and adaptable frameworks, you move from a place of fear to a place of possibility. You start to see the vision of what we might call an augmented classroom.
The World Economic Forum, for example, highlights that AI's biggest promise might actually be in supporting our teachers. It can help personalize learning for every student and take over all those routine admin tasks. And what does that do? It frees up educators to focus on the things humans do best, building relationships, mentoring, and inspiring their students.
And that right there is the ultimate takeaway. The whole point of bringing AI into our schools isn't to make teachers obsolete. Not at all. It's to empower them. Technology should be a tool that enhances the absolutely essential human part of teaching, not something that tries to replace it.
Which brings us to our final, really big question. If AI can handle all the routine answers, then maybe our focus needs to shift. Maybe we should be teaching students how to ask brilliant questions, how to think critically about the answers they get, and how to ethically use that knowledge to solve real problems. What do you think?